and welcome back to Art Wizard. We are back for part 2 on the simple tree. Ain't she a beauty? If you missed how we made this, go back to part 1. This is part 2. So let's make a base so it's got something to stand on. So bases can be a lot of things, and don't let me, stop your creativity. If you come up with something else, you go for it. You go for it. This is your creative practice. I'm just the shepherd, as they say. I'm just showing you the way, and then you can do whatever you wish. Okay, I like to do bases in a few different ways. I like to use rocks. I like to use wood slices. I've also used petrified wood, which is cute. And I think that's everything. So Hobby Lobby is like my target. I love Hobby Lobby. I get lost there and buy a bunch of things, and it's magnificent. But they also have really good prices, which is wonderful. So they have these rock, riverstone kind of looking rock, like that. And they also have agate slices that are like this. And they give you a whole bag. I've used up the bag at this point. They give you a whole bag, and it's $4.29. Not too shabby. This one's even $3.99. Not too bad. So you can do that. You can find your own rocks. I just recently went to Colorado and brought back a bunch of rocks with me. Honestly, it kept me sane throughout the trip because I was not having a good time. But there's rocks, like I got quartz, like literal quartz. These are just rocks that I found walking around because, Colorado. So you can use that. You can polish them, you can not polish them. I usually kind of refine the rocks that I find a bit more and polish them down just so they're a little bit nicer. You can also buy rocks, raw rocks. You can tumble them if you'd like, or you can buy tumbled. I'm not sure what this is, but it's like a really cool green color. Petrified wood is great, and it's just like really cool looking. And then also wood slices, which I also get from Hobby Lobby. So this is one on a wood slice. The wood is kind of nice because it gives you room. The wood is kind of nice because it gives you room to build a whole scene, right? You're not just making the tree, but you're making like the ground and like maybe some accessories and all that. So they're just wood slices. There's another option. Today we are going to be using just a flat river stone. I generally like to save like the cooler bases for the larger trees, and I'll show you guys that later. We're just getting going. So at this point, you're gonna wanna warm up your hot glue gun. So this trusty fella right here. I picked this one up at Hobby Lobby. I think it cost me all of $10. This thing is a beast. I used to have an older one, still works. I still use both, but the fact that this has like a smaller point, it just works better. But yeah, pick it up at your neighborhood art store for $10 or so, and then they sell refill packs of the glue, which like you go through a lot of glue. If you're gonna make more than one of these and you're gonna keep making them, you're gonna go through a lot of glue. So get the big pack. It's real cheap. I think this was like $5, but you do use a lot. So I'm gonna plug in my glue gun while we wait for that to heat up. I generally go with a more natural look on my trees. I like to emulate real life and put them in a forest type environment, which to me has always been moss. I used a lot of this one. Also Hobby Lobby, like I said. There's a Michael's near me too, but they never have what I want, and it's always more expensive, and Hobby Lobby just has great deals. So they have a bunch of different types of moss. You can even order some on eBay. eBay has all kinds of different colors. You can do fantasy themes, and yeah, anything you want. But I generally like to do moss on my bases. Sometimes I add little figurines, you know, like this guy, the little pumpkin. And I add gemstones as well because I feel like it ties the tree to the base, and you can simulate, or not simulate, but you can create something that looks, emulate, that's the word. You can emulate something like a river or like rocks with the gemstones. So first and foremost, we're gonna take, so we have our base, we have moss, we have our cutters, and we have more gemstones. We're gonna take this base and we're kind of going to curve the legs. We're gonna start kind of like a spiral shape towards the middle. You can make them closer together and closer to the base. I generally kind of leave them open. You also can leave them straight. Each way is gonna work. This just kind of forms legs, and they just kind of keep twisting in. And you can make them, you know, tighter if you want. Something like this. Or you can leave them out. I'm gonna leave them out a little bit. Then you're gonna take your hot glue and put glue on each leg. So just go down the spider legs and add a bit of glue. This does not have to be perfect right off the bat because we're going to, this is just to adhere the tree to the base. So once you have the glue on the legs, you're gonna press the tree down onto the base. Be careful with your hands. Hot glue is hot. It's gonna hurt. Don't put your hand directly in the glue. You will build calluses over time if you continue to make these, but you know, it still hurts. And then what I like to do, so now you have, you know, your base, and I like to take my moss and I start to cover my tree base roots with the moss. I generally put the glue on the rock and then press into it. You can put the glue on the moss, but I found that this works a bit better for me. So we're gonna just keep doing that. Start to think about what kind of scene you're building here. Where is this tree living? What's around? What kind of scene are you imagining here? We're building worlds. We're bringing the outdoors indoors, the outside inside. When you run out of glue, just add more. Just stick it in the back there. You can get wood, like little wood birch pieces to add to these. I've made Christmas ones and added like Christmas elements, and those are super cute. So you can do holiday themes. It's great for kids, obviously kids old enough that can use a glue gun. So, you know, use your discretion. But they really love this kind of activity because it just lets you use your imagination. Where is this tree? What's its story, you know? Even adults. I run workshops making these trees, and everybody absolutely loves making them. They seem so complicated, and then you get into it and you realize, oh, I can do this. And then you make something super cute. So now that we have our moss, and don't worry about the tree right now, we're gonna fluff her out. So now that we have the moss on the base, I'm gonna add a few gemstones in here just to connect everything together. I'm gonna use the same color just for consistency, plus the blue makes me think of a river. So we're gonna make kind of a river shape here. And I'm just pressing the stones into the glue. I'm not caring right now about the hot glue tails because I'm gonna clean that up. But hot glue dries real fast, you know, it gets unhot. So you wanna make sure that you press everything in and then clean up after. Otherwise you're just gonna have a bunch of dry glue that you can't do anything with. Press that in. Cool. Let's do one more. Cool. Now we've got a little river. I don't like this sticking out. I'm gonna add a few more. Do it for your inner child, that inner play that we forget about as adults. We forget to play. We just work, work, work all the time. And then doing something like this is super therapeutic. Awesome. I think I might even go down the side here and then put some on the side over here. I just kind of lay them into the glue. It dries clear. The less you touch it, the better. That didn't work out. And it's pretty forgiving, so if you mess up, if you don't like what you did, you can pull it off and then try again. Sometimes you'll find that the ends of your copper roots are a bit too long and you can trim them down. You don't want anything poking out on the sides because that's going to hurt whoever's holding the tree. You also don't want anything poking on the bottom because that will make the base unstable. Okay. So, oh, jeez. I mean, speaking of that, these bases and these trees are a lot more stable than a lot of people think. When I go to vendor shows and I sell these, people lift them up super like gently and are scared to put them down. And they're much more stable and sturdy than they seem. Because we created that square for the root system, it's got 4 contact points. Unless you're really trying to separate this thing, it's not gonna come apart. So it can drop, it's gonna be fine. Nothing's gonna happen to it. And usually when I pick these up, I either use the trunk or one of the leaves or the base. So at this point, all that's left is fluffing out the tree. So you're gonna take each branch and just push it down from the base of the branch. I like to stagger these in height to give fullness to the tree, but this is really a very subjective process, and you can create any kind of look you want, much like with a lot of this. The further apart you pull the branches, the more open and empty in a way the tree will look. The closer together everything is, the more full it'll look. Sometimes I like to rotate these around the base and kind of do a twisting or like a spiral rotation around the base. That looks nice. But like I said, this is very subjective, so it's really up to you and what you think looks best. And there you have it. You have your very own crystal bonsai tree. ready to be enjoyed wherever you see fit. Thanks for joining me today to make this simple wire wrap tree, simple crystal bonsai tree. I like that name better. Let me know what you thought. Let me know how it went for you if you tried it. Leave photos in the comments of your own trees. I will happily leave links to things like the bases and the gemstones. Whatever else you guys want, let me know. See you in the next one. There's more to come. This is just the beginning.